Ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of optimistic because I hear Christopher Hitchens and Charles Murray and Theodore Dalrymple and Mark Stein and quite a few others saying really wonderful things like that there is an independent objective reality, and Christopher Hitchens refers to the cult of objectivism, that people of objectivism with a small o, not referring to Ayn Rand, that academia looks at people who believe in an objective reality as kind of a crazy little cult of idiots. And objectivism, according to Hitchens, the way he derides those views, it is not a cultish view to believe that there's an objective reality. And Charles Murray says these things, and Dalrymple and others. They are things that you wouldn't have heard them say 20 or 30 years ago, because everybody's so against that, right? And these people wouldn't want to take a moral stand on such a bizarre issue. Ayn Rand took this stand clear back in the 50s and 60s. This is an old stance for her. Also, Ayn Rand took the stance against religion. She said it is unmitigated nonsense and evil, but you're free to do it if you choose. It's your mind. Throw it away if you like. That was 50 years ago. People are just now catching up. They've been saying in a measly-mouthed way for 50 years, oh, let them have the religion. Religion's important to people. It makes them feel better. It reduces crime. It lowers blood pressure. Freedom of religion keeps us free. You know, the communists or the atheists. People have just been ignoring the problem and not worrying about the fact that religion really is bad and dangerous. They've just been letting it slip by. Until the last 10 years, we're starting to realize religion's the major fight again, terrifyingly. We all thought that this academic nonsense was benign. This nonsense of saying that we don't exist and we can walk through walls by pure chance, you know, everything's just probability theory, everything. They overextend this nonsense coming from quantum mechanics into whole postulations for the entire universe. It's very tiresome, and then there's these other people saying your roots and where you came from is the most important thing in your life. We all just sort of ignored it, except for Ayn Rand and a few other people. Very, very few people, like Leonard Peikoff. To some extent, George Orwell, because he did point out this doublethink idea. There are people who have been speaking out against it, but on the whole, people have just left this fight on the back burner. So, my point here is that Ayn Rand took up positions that she saw as true. Christopher Hitchens, Theodore Dalrymple, Mark Stein are taking up positions they see as urgent, and they are admitting that these situations are true only because they've been pressed to the wall by events and circumstances. You know, if Hitchens had his way, he'd still be a goddamn Marxist. So they're all, and Richard Dawkins, I'll have to add him, they're only taking this moral stance because events have pushed them to the wall. They were very happy 20 and 30 years ago to just not really care so much about these multiculturalist people and religions and stuff. As Dawkins has said, he understands Eastern religions to be something of a philosophy of life rather than a religion. He is bizarre. I mean, Zen Buddhism was the religion of the Japanese kamikaze pilots. How are the Eastern religions contemplative and not violent? So he knows less about that. He's just taking the multiculturalist basic stance. He just doesn't know that much about it. And he accepts all the multicultural belief that the East is contemplative and peaceful and in the mind. Well, we're going to have to wake up and start questioning these things if we're not already questioning them the way that Ayn Rand has been, or was, 50 freaking years ago. People deride her views, they talk about how she's a fascist and stuff, but one by one, intelligent people are surfacing who are saying all the things that Ayn Rand was saying 40 or 50 years ago. You know, that there is a reality, there is some truth that we can verify, religion is evil and dangerous. So, I wish that they would have admitted it a little sooner, back before it came urgent and our backs are against the wall, but better late than never, if it's not too late already.